Simple, healthy, homemade guacamole. So I have been completely obsessed with anything avocado based basically since the beginning of time. And I may be exaggerating, but I'm really not. Avocados have been a favorite food of mine since I was wee little. So because of that, any recipe that would include an avocado in it in any means whatsoever was something I was interested in. So obviously, guacamole was a big interest. But I always seemed to find that the recipes I searched for and located just weren't quite right, and I never understood why. Until Holy Guacamole, which is my favorite commercial brand of guacamole. Why? Because it's basically just avocados. Now, this particular packet that they're targeting as their classic version has avocados, distilled vinegar, water, jalapeno, salt, dehydrated onion, and granulated garlic. So some of those ingredients I found while doing further research are a little questionable, while some of them are perfectly fine. So then I started finding all these different conflicting things that if you put tomato or garlic in your guacamole, well, that's just not guacamole. Huh? If you put this in guacamole, it's not guacamole, but this traditional guacamole has all these things, and it was so confusing. So I'm like, okay, Wikipedia, save me! And I did further research on where was the origin of guacamole. What I found out was the first documented source of guacamole was a Spanish explorer witnessing a native mushing some avocado in with salt and sugar. Now, Brian, being the fact debunker guy that he is like, hey, they didn't have sugar back then. Well, they grew sugarcane in that region, so mushing of ingredients was a common method, so they were probably just mushing sugarcane to get the pulp and with the salt, which helps aid mushing processes, and adding the avocado, and boom, you have guacamole. But further research shows that guacamole is actually just avocado sauce. So that means basically you can put anything in it as long as it's avocado based and you have an avocado sauce, which roughly translates to guacamole. More research, and if you do that but you add vinegar, then it's some other word. And if you do that and you add fresh fruits, then it's some other word. So, the never-ending cycle of trying to find the perfect guacamole was eluding me once again. Then I was introduced to the keto lifestyle. Da, da, da. And avocados are a good source of fat. Not only are they a good source of fat, but they're a good source of good fat. Who's a good fat? Who's a good fat? You are, yes you are. So, guacamole was back on the menu, and we had to find the perfect thing. But, back to the traditional. So the traditional, before the beginning of the word of guacamole, was apparently just avocado, salt, and sugar. Sugar, not on the menu today. So, avocado, salt, check. We know that avocados have this funky way of turning brown when oxidized, and one of the things that helps it not do that is acid, whether it be from a citric fruit, such as limes or lemons, or through vinegar. Well, my research said that vinegar adding to the avocado sauce made it some other word other than guacamole, so I'm not going to use vinegar. But I am going to use lime juice. Why? Because we grow our own limes, and because we know lime is a very common flavor south of the border. So check, that should be fine. So along with lime juice, some of the other elements that were considered traditional plus were jalapenos and cilantro, both of which we're currently growing in our backyard garden. So boom, adding those in. Now, I know some people have that crazy DNA strain where cilantro tastes like soap. If you're one of those people, please don't put cilantro in any of your food because you're not going to like it. I recommend, though, putting a different herb in replace of cilantro so you still get that freshness. Parsley would be a great option, as well as oregano. Then I wanted to dive further into the nutrient enrichment of guacamole. Is this really necessary? No, I'm just crazy and I like to make things more complicated. So, what is this? It's chia seeds, but it's not just chia seeds, it's chia seeds that have been sitting in water. So, let's get started on actually making this guacamole, shall we? First off, we're going to take our avocados and we're going to cut them. And hopefully you're going to cut your avocado and not yourself. If you have experience watching our videos here, you've probably heard multiple times how Derica cannot be trusted with knives. Well, I am Derica, and this is a knife. So let's hope this doesn't get messy. So to cut an avocado, I simply score the circumference lengthwise, twist, and ta-da, I have the two halves of the avocado. This is the pit. It is inedible. So I stab it with a knife, and then I gently twist until it pops out. Ta-da! Success! Now you can clean this off and soak it in water and put little toothpicks in it and have a little science experiment and grow your own avocado tree. But there's a strong debate on whether that said tree will actually ever fruit or not. I have had great success in growing avocado trees. I have had very limited success in actually making them come to fruit. Whether it's these pits are actually ever going to fruit or my lack of patience of growing an avocado tree, we really don't know. So I have, in true Derica fashion, stabbed my pit a little too hard. So I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, cover the pit, and pull carefully. The reason why I'm using the paper towel is because these pits are really slippery and I don't want to get myself. Yay! Success! So now that I finally have the pit removed, I have my two halves of the avocado. I'm going to take a spoon and simply scoop out the good stuff, leaving the skin. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of my avocados, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, now that I have all my avocado added to my bowl, I'm going to take a spoon, a fork, a potato masher, a blender, whatever mashing device of your choice you wish to use, and I'm going to start mashing up the avocado. What I'm looking to do is to get it kind of loosened up and more or less creamy and less chunky before I start adding my other ingredients. This is a great activity to do if you're having a rough day and you need to get some frustration out. Okay, so I have a much more creamy mixture right now, but before I go much further, I want to go ahead and add the lime juice to try to help retard that oxidization. So one of my avocados was a little less ripe than the others, and so it is giving me some resistance into mashing because it's a slightly firmer texture. So I'm getting out the fork and I'm showing it who's boss. Now that my troublemaker avocado has been properly dealt with, let's go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. Before I add the chia seed mixture, I want to give it a nice mix to make sure that it is starting to gel. It is totally starting to gel, but I want to add a little bit more water to this particular mixture because I don't think I had enough. The seeds have completely absorbed the water that we did add already. So I'm just going to give it a touch more and see what happens. And now I have that additional amount of water and I'm going to stir it again really well. And in just that little bit of stirring, it has already reabsorbed the additional water and it looks like the right consistency to me now. I'm going to go ahead and give you a closer look of the chia seed mixture. Alright, now that my chia seed mixture is ready to be added, I'm going to go ahead and use my little tiny spatula and scoop it all in there. And now we're going to mix all these ingredients again thoroughly. Because the chia seeds do make that pudding-like substance, they like to stick together. So you want to make sure that you work it in really well so it's well distributed throughout the mixture. Once you're satisfied with the mixture of your ingredients, it's time for a very important step, and that's to taste it. What you're looking for is to see if you're satisfied with the ratio of the different types of ingredients. Does it need more acid? Does it need more salt? Does it need more herbs? Does it just need more avocado? Let's find out. That's really tasty. And the surprising thing about this is that the only thing crunchy that I'm getting is the jalapeno. The chia seeds have just blended into the background, so I don't even notice them. They're just adding their nutrients to this guacamole, making this an even more healthier dish. Now that you're done, let's take a look at it closely, shall we? All right, so you can see here that the ingredients are well mixed and it has a very slightly chunky texture. If you wanted your guacamole to be more smooth, you could blend the avocado before adding the other ingredients in a food processor or a blender. Okay, so now comes the critical part, and that's the test comparison between my homemade guacamole and Holy Guacamole's store-bought.
So we're doing it real scientific-like.
Yes, totally.
I have no idea which is which.
So I brought Brian in as my helpful test subject, and we're just gonna take a taste.
I'm gonna try this one first.
All right.
I'm probably gonna double dip. This tastes really salty. Like, I notice salt. Notice I flipped my piece around before I dipped it in. I'm not actually double dipping. You know, it's my house. It's good. I like the flavor of that. I'll say this. On appearance, yours looks so much more interesting than that. Now, we like Holy Guacamole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
So I would say
they're very close.
They're very close. I would say that the Holy Guacamole tastes sweeter to me than mine.
Sweeter isn't the word I'd use. It tastes saltier.
Where this one tastes more flavorful, if that makes more sense.
Yeah, the Holy Guacamole is saltier. I get it's very smooth, very creamy. Yours, though, is not as salty, which is a good thing. And I taste more avocado. Like, it actually tastes more like avocado. This one, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're nitpicking here. Like, they're so close. She actually did a really good job making it taste like it. I like the texture of yours a lot better. This is like blended avocado with chunks in it. Yours is chunks that have the mass there. So,
did you even notice the chia seeds?
There's chia seeds in there? Now that you're saying it, I can see them. No, I knew they were in there, but honestly, I had forgotten.
When I did my first taste, just to make sure that the ratios were good, the only crunch I got was from the jalapeno. I did not even notice.
I just got crunch from the celery. I didn't actually get it from that.
Oh, true. Right. The celery you don't even get. So what are you going to use your guacamole on? Anything you want to.
You could put that on the bumper of a Volkswagen and it'll taste good.
But as you can see by our demonstration, it tastes really good dipped in with vegetables like celery, carrots, bell pepper, broccoli, cauliflower, pretty much anything you can imagine. Dip it in some guacamole and it's good.
But I think we're going to be putting it on my chili rellenos tonight. Yeah. Which that's another recipe coming soon. We were going to put it on flax crackers. Actually, you know what? 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. So first attempt at flax crackers or flackers or whatever you want to call them. And this is what I got. I don't feel that they're very strong.
They're very delicate.
So that's why I'm doing it this way.
But this is proof that we actually test our recipes before showing them to you.
Yeah, this is not ready for prime time yet.
It's a work in progress.
Wow. That is so good. Oh my god. So I got to work on this recipe a little bit to make sure that they don't fall apart when you dip them in there. Because if they just, crumble into seeds, what's the point? But the combination is so good. The roasty, toasty part of the cracker with the guacamole. Oh, yeah.
If you like this video, look up. There's another one you might enjoy equally as well.